Truth be told, coaching wasn't in Ford Mastin's plans after he obtained a degree in music education from Oklahoma Baptist University, but coaching ultimately found him, resulting in a harmonic journey. A third-generation Bison, Mastin assumed the head coaching reins at his alma mater after teaching and coaching in the high school ranks for 2 decades. Under his regime, OBU track and field would experience almost immediate success, while enjoying some of its greatest moments in program history. In his first 19 years, Mastin's teams won NAIA team titles 10 times and added 9 runner-up finishes. In 2013, his program swept the men's and women's indoor crowns, and both teams finished second outdoors later that spring. The Bison did it again in 2016 and 2017. Only this time, they secured all 4 team titles as the school made the transition from NAIA to NCAA Division II. And talk about dominating, the OBU women's 4x400 meter relay team became a force, laying claim to 16 of a possible 19 indoor or outdoor titles from 2005 to 2015. Under Mastin's direction, his student athletes won 156 NAIA indoor or outdoor individual or relay titles, while earning over 1,300 All-America honors. He also inspired several of his former athletes to become coaches themselves. While Mastin might not have intended to join the profession, the multi-time National Coach of the Year orchestrated some of the greatest moments in NAIA and NCAA Division II history. Tonight, we welcome Ford Mastin into the Hall of Fame. Well, when you and I were chatting this afternoon, we kind of sort of centered around, I'm a college teacher when I'm not trying to mispronounce names around the world, and your background was in teaching before you kind of got full on into coaching. What is it about the art of teaching that you were drawn to so early, and maybe let's start there.
After graduating from OBU, I went to seminary to be a missionary. And while I was there, I coached at TCU, assistant, but I just had a special calling that really kids in America, and especially in public school, that's a mission field. And so for 14 years, I was at a high school in Oklahoma, and a lot of great things happened. And I just felt God's presence. And when I was able to get the job at Oklahoma Baptist, it was a little bit of a feeling like I can go and multiply what's happening at this high school. Because if these kids will go and maybe they'll be a coach or a teacher, it extends what was happening. So at this year's state meet in Oklahoma, I counted 13 former OBU athletes coaching at the high school that was at the state meet. It was just a wonderful feeling that happened.
And it's proven to be a successful rinse and repeat for your career, and OBU kind of the center of that, a lot of connection to you, and the legacies to your family. Just, for those who don't know anything about the institution, be their spokesperson here for a moment.
It's a little school with big things that happen, and one of the athletes here tonight that came to be with me is Kamika Witter from Jamaica, and just having Mark Elliott at LSU and Clemson helped with a lot of people to make it here with us, and we had enough firepower that everywhere we went, something special happened, and it was just a lot of fun. There was, with all that going on, the most important thing to me was that kids were exposed to good character, would want it themselves. And if you don't mind me telling you one story about how this really happened, we're at the national meet, and Thursday night there's prelims for the relays, and I had 2 subs on our distance medley. Needed to qualify for the finals on Saturday, and first leg went okay, second leg went okay, third leg we're right there in a big pack. There's like 8 runners within 5 meters going around the first turn. And our 800 reader, which was a sub, was in a spill. guys went everywhere. Batons were clanging and going everywhere. And it was like, I watched our guy run to about lane 5 and get a baton. He took that baton to our rival, handed it to him, went back, found his baton, and by that time, everyone's gone, and he took off, and we were hoping he'd catch somebody, but we didn't qualify for that. And my first thought was, get a baton and run! And the second thought was, how many guys would have done that? How many guys would have done that? I didn't know what to tell the team because they were very disappointed. We're trying to win the national title, and we just lost somewhere between 6 or 10 points. And one guy wanted to say something at the team meeting, and he said, Ryan, we want you to know it's more important what the people in the stands will remember about us than winning this meet. I didn't have to say anything. And so the character was happening. It was really great. And another thing that was important is that we were going to develop a family where people cared about each other. You know, I need a ride, I need this, someone needs to take me to the doctor, and people would just help each other. And I saw this family develop. But the best picture of this family, and all the cross-country coaches in this room know this, we're trying to go to the national meet, and we're trying to figure out, we knew we were going to make it, but we were trying to figure out who the 7th runner was going to be. And there was a lot of competition for that 7th spot, who was going to get a plane ticket and go to the national meet. And these 2 girls had just traded places all year long. And I thought, I don't know which one's going to be that person. I hadn't even turned in the name for the ticket yet. And I knew the drama was high, and even the girls that were going to be ahead of them were concerned about what's going to happen in 7th place. We're hosting the meet, so I knew where it'll be. And so there's about 200 meters left. It's going to go uphill around a corner and down through the chute. And I'm watching these 2 girls run about 4 feet apart. And they're pretty up in the race. And the girl behind, the 8th girl, as she approached the 7th girl, she put her hand on her back and pushed her along, not wanting to pass her. And I thought, oh, that's too much. That's too much. And then after about 50 yards of that, the girl in front took that girl's hand and moved it to push her ahead. And that's how they finished. That's family. That's family.
And you said you're reminded about that usually about this time of year, right?
Yeah.
The mailbox gets full.
Yeah, and all those Christmas cards and the thoughts. But so the team's together, and can you take the other girl? Let's take the other girl. And so we came up with the money to get the other girl to go as an alternate. But I'm telling you, everyone here, the most important thing about what you do is make a culture that changes lives, and people want to care about each other, and someone's going to help lead each other, and everyone's going to be better for it. We're not just doing this to win. We're not just doing this to be the best. Sometimes when lives improve, everyone's better. And Kamika, would you agree with that? You were part of that. Thank you.
Well said. Just in thinking, coming into this night, you're not a stranger to Hall of Fame ceremonies. There's a laundry list of former, and I had people coming up saying, oh, he did this poem at one, and there's, and others, Drake Relay's Hall of Fame.
You saved him for that.
I did?
Tonight.
Were you going to do a poem?
Well.
A soliloquy? You're doing musical theater now, I hear. Tell us about that.
Woo! Well, it was my time to try to get back with my family. We lost a lot of time doing 12-hour days from 5:40 to 7 at night. That's longer than 12. And I missed a lot of time with my kids. And so now that they're on their own, whenever one of my kids, like my son Trevor's here, and he's both acts and directs, if he's doing a play or my daughter's doing a play, I audition because I know I'm going to be with them for every night for 2 months, and it's family time again. So my wife was tremendous with help with raising them, really, because I was gone a lot. I regret that, So I had a chance to make up a little bit, and have been doing it the last 3 or 4 years.
And when do we see you on Broadway? What's the ascent here?
Community theater is enough where I forget my lines and my son goes, "Not again!" So why did I put him in that spot?
So family obviously here. Just other folks you wanted to recognize for this particular
honor. Well, I mentioned Mark Elliott, Glenn Stone, some of the guys that are gray-headed. Remember Glenn Stone? He was assistant several places, Nebraska, Eastern Junior College for years. He was an OBU Hall of Famer and coached the 5 years before I replaced him, and that was hard because here's a high school coach coming and replacing a guy that was awesome, and they got the short end of the stick. Those athletes did, and so it took a while to win them over. But Glenn Stone, we were on the phone a lot, helped me a lot. The guy that kind of got OBU was pretty bad for a while. Great in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, kind of sunk bad when I was on the team. And then Jeff Potter, who several guys in this room had him as an assistant, he got the team going and really move it again. And those guys, I could mention more, but those guys are real special. I've had wonderful assistants that also bought in and gave a lot. And I can't start to mention all their names, but there's 4 or 5 of them that are a head coach somewhere now, and 4 or 5 of them are assistants somewhere else. But that's been good to multiply the influence that way too.
Great run. And another Hall of Fame, and now a Coaches Hall of Fame, soon to be a Community Theater aspiring Hall of Famer, Ford Mastin. Congratulations.
Thank you.